Before we start the video, please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell for more company documentary videos. Please support the channel by subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing the video. We're working aggressively to grow the channel, and we need your help by subscribing. Your support means so much and is so appreciated. Thanks again! It's tough to imagine a world without Burger King. I remember my friends and me would argue about Whoppers versus Big Macs. Wow, time really flies. Anyway, for the longest time, Burger King was always positioned as a viable alternative to McDonald's. Typically, when you see a McDonald's, you'd see a Burger King nearby. To me, out of all the fast food chain restaurants, Burger King's burgers always taste the closest to a real grilled burger. Although I haven't had their food in years, I was a bit surprised when I saw the announcement of their 400-store closure. This is the story of Burger King and how they went from iconic to simply surviving. Miami entrepreneurs James McLemore and David Edgerton founded Burger King Corporation in 1954. 5 years later, they were ready to expand their 5 Florida Burger Kings into a nationwide chain. By the time they sold their company to Pillsbury in 1967, Burger King had become the third largest fast food chain in the country, and was on its way to second place, after industry leader McDonald's. The story of Burger King's growth is the story of how franchising and advertising developed the fast food industry. McLemore and Edgerton began in 1954 with a simple concept: to attract the burgeoning numbers of post-war baby boom families with reasonably priced broiled burgers served quickly. The idea was not unique. Drive-ins offering cheap fast food were springing up all across America in the early 1950s. In fact, 1954 was the same year Ray Kroc made his deal with the McDonald's brothers, whose original Southern California drive-in started the McDonald's empire. McLemore and Edgerton tried to give their Burger King restaurants a special edge. Burger King became the first chain to offer dining rooms, albeit uncomfortable plastic ones. In 1957, they expanded their menu with the Whopper, a burger with sauce, cheese, lettuce, pickles, and tomato for big appetites. But prices were kept low. A hamburger cost 18 cents and the Whopper 37 cents. McDonald's burgers at the same time, however, only cost 15 cents. In 1958, they took advantage of an increasingly popular medium, television. The first Burger King television commercial appeared on Miami's VHF station that year. By 1959, McLemore and Edgerton were ready to expand beyond Florida, and franchising seemed to be the best way to take their concept to a broader market. Franchising was booming in the late 1950s because it allowed companies to expand with minimal investment. Like many other franchisors, McLemore and Edgerton attracted their investors by selling exclusive rights to large territories throughout the country. The buyers of these territorial rights, many of them large businesses themselves, could do what they wanted to in their territory. Buy land, build as many stores as they liked, sell part of the territory to other investors, or diversify. McLemore and Edgerton took their initial payments, which varied with the territory, and their cut, as little as 1% of sales, and left their franchisees pretty much on their own. The system worked well, allowing Burger King to expand rapidly. By 1967, when the partners decided to sell the company they'd founded, the chain included 274 stores and was worth $18 million, and purchased by prepared foods giant Pillsbury. At the time of the purchase, Pillsbury was faced with a lack of consistency within the franchise framework. The Burger King Corporation franchising system set up by McLemore and Edgerton allowed the company to expand at a great pace. But the lack of contractual restraints and controls on its franchisees' operations led to inconsistencies in its products, that in turn were a drag on the reputation of the chain. Additionally, the agreements gave the company too little power to prevent its franchises from doing as they wished with the business. One of the prime examples of the deficiencies in its former franchise structure can be illustrated by the relationship between Burger King and a Louisiana-based franchisee. Chart House, owned by brothers Billy and Jimmy Trotter, opened its first BK franchise in that state in 1963. By 1970, the Trotters company had grown to over 350 stores across the country, with its own purchasing system, training program, and inspection system. In 1973, Chart House attempted to purchase the chain from Pillsbury for $100 million, but Pillsbury declined. The Trotters then put forth a second plan that would have Pillsbury and Chart House spin off their respective holdings and merge the two entities into a separate jointly controlled company, which Pillsbury also declined. After the failed bids, the relationship between Pillsbury and the Trotters soured. When Chart House purchased several restaurants in Boston and Houston in 1979, Burger King sued the selling franchisees for not respecting their contractual right of first refusal, and won, preventing the sale. The two parties eventually reached a settlement where Chart House kept the Houston locations in their portfolio. In the early 1980s, Chart House spun off its Burger King restaurants to focus on its higher-end chains. Its Burger King holding company, DiversaFoods, was eventually acquired by Pillsbury for $390 million in 1984 and folded into Burger King's operations. Pillsbury was acquired by the British company Grand Metropolitan Grand Met plc in 1989. Grand Met became Diageo plc after its merger with the Irish brewer Guinness plc in 1997. Diageo sold Burger King in 2002 to a consortium of private equity financiers, namely the Texas Pacific Group, Bain Capital, and Goldman Sachs Capital Partners. In 2010, 3G Capital, an investment group controlled by the Brazilian billionaire Jorge Paulo Lemann, took over the company in a leveraged buyout. By 2012, Burger King shares were being sold to the public again, but 3G retained a controlling interest. Burger King Worldwide merged with the Canadian donut and fast food chain Tim Hortons in 2014, and a new parent company called Restaurant Brands International was formed. Currently, Restaurant Brands International owns 4 of the world's most prominent and iconic quick-service restaurant brands: Tim Hortons, Burger King, Popeyes, and Firehouse Subs. So listen guys, I was going to go through Burger King's expansion process from start to finish, but it is so extensive and long that we'd be here all day. I'm sure you all don't have that much time, and neither do I. Anyway, the main key point you should know regarding how they got so big was due to franchising. Burger King has more than 18,700 locations in more than 100 countries and US territories. Burger King is nearly 100% franchised. Based on their parent company, 99.7% of their restaurants are franchised. Only 52 Burger King locations were company-owned at the end of 2022. Something you all should know about these types of companies is that they often keep at least some franchise locations in order to test out new ideas and stay abreast of operations. But typically the growth of these restaurants totally depend on franchisors. So why is Burger King closing 400 stores? Is the company struggling that bad? Let's get into it. Being so heavily dependent on franchisors also puts the company at the mercy of those franchisors' ability to fully execute the laid-out brand strategy while staying financially healthy. Recent reports state that 124 restaurants have closed so far in 2023. Based on the CEO, this is just the tip of the iceberg. He said there are plans to close up 400 more restaurants before the end of 2023. The CEO, Joshua Kabza, said in a call announcing Q1 earnings results that the company historically closes a couple hundred Burger King restaurants each year. These numbers are so vast because several large Burger King franchisees filed for bankruptcy: Illinois-based Tom's King, Michigan-based EYM King, and Utah-based Meridian Restaurants Unlimited. The CEO said on the call that the company plans to focus on working with smaller franchisees to improve the overall health of the company's franchise system. He also said the company plans to only allow high-quality operators to build or acquire existing restaurants who will operate regionally and with local ownership. Honestly, at this point, I think Burger King is a lost cause. To me, they're only hanging on due to the sheer number of stores they have. They've saturated the market enough with their brand to have some type of market share. They have 18,700 stores, but only made $1.9 billion in 2022. Something's a little bit off with this math if you ask me. To me, that says people don't really like their food like that. I feel like either you like Burger King or you don't. I don't foresee them making a new product that will make people interested in them again. The last time I had their food, it was absolutely disgusting. All of it was cold and old, which made me throw it all away. And I haven't been back since. What I will say is that Burger King the corporation is pretty well insulated, because most of their restaurants are franchises. So if one of them closes, the franchise owner takes the majority of the financial loss. Burger King is literally sitting back collecting their royalty fee from these independent owners. So if you ask me, the Burger King Corporation isn't going anywhere anytime soon. However, the independent owners are definitely on the chopping block. Anyway, do you like Burger King? Do you like their food? Have any of you worked for them? If yes, how was your experience working for them or eating there? Please let us know in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more company documentary videos. And be sure to like and share the video as well. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys!